All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. I feel like I'm beating a dead horse. Here we go again. 2024 Hopslam from Bell's, the yearly tradition. I keep telling myself every single year that I'm not going to review this, and here we are. I'm back reviewing this one for you guys. Why? Because I just can't stop. It's a Michigan tradition. I've been doing it for a long time. Even before I reviewed, I always drank Hopslam every single year. So, that being said, is it going to be any different this year? I don't know. We're going to investigate. Guys, it feels like this recipe has changed slightly over the years. I do remember a different beer back in like 2013, 2012, 2015. Bell's is a lot bigger now. I don't know it. Obviously, it's the same recipe, but again, we're going to investigate, see any differences. I feel like I liked this one last year. I do remember enjoying it, but not being like overly ridiculously wowed by it. It's still a great beer even in 2020 whatever terms, right? So all these years later, still a great beer, 10%. And again, double India Pale Ale brewed with honey, and we have a best by date of March 9th, 25. So I don't know what that is. Do they put 3 months, November? I don't know if they put 4 months on this. I can't remember. It's a little bit shorter. It's not that 6-month shelf life. I thought it's like 3 or 4 months. So if it was canned this month or last month, October, November, December, January, February, March, maybe they did just put the 6 month. I don't know. So they don't do the best, or they don't do the canned on date anymore. It's just a Best By. So Bell's is massive. That's how it goes. If maybe they put 4 months, I don't know. 3, 4, or 5 months. Typically, I think they do 6. So we don't know for sure, but we're going to get it into the poor Michigan beer glass, and let's see what we're working with, guys, this year. Hope you're doing well, and of course, we're doing this again. Said I wouldn't. So I did have the Celebration Ale recently. I thought that was a pretty good offering. And this one, well, looks really good in the glass still. I mean, that 10% kind of oily, viscous, dark golden yellow. I mean, you got the little bit of amber hue in there, dark orange, like crazy. It looks different in the light here, but nice head retention sitting on top, off-white, more brighter white in the middle too. And she looks pretty good, actually. Moderate to low carbonation, nothing ridiculous. Yeah, it looks like a good West Coast beer. I don't know. Check that out. Let's get an aroma. Yes, malty, but caramel, malty, honey sweetness, right? So the maltiness definitely hitting you, but there's this nice dose of citrus. Lemon, a little bit of like mandarin orange, like it's slightly juicy. I don't know if that's just the honey sweetness playing into it, maybe that malt bill playing into those citrus notes. I think they might be. Maybe a little like clementine grapefruit. It smells just ever so subtly juicy, like a little bit more flesh of the fruit there rather than just the pith and the skin. The dryness, right? This beer is dry typically. It smells like it's got a little bit more juicy citrus on it this year. I don't know. I mean, it could just be me. I don't know. Maybe a little apricot cantaloupe in there. It's just different. I don't know. It smells fairly good. It's not like overly popping, but again, I feel like it's not as like dry, piney, malty. I'm getting a little bit more of those fruits in the nose. So I don't know. Let's investigate, guys. Hopslam 2024. New release date. Obviously, they used to do it at the beginning of the year, right? No, it's at the end. So check this out. Bell's, let's go for it. Okay. And there's a signature honey sweetness coming through. Fairly dry bittering, a little bit of pine resin, but not too ridiculously bittered, right? And that 10%, that sweetness, that malt bill gets driven up. That's how we get this sucker to 10%. A beautiful dose of maltiness, but a little bit of orange, a little bit of mandarin orange. I feel like it's got just a touch more sweet fruit in it, like not as dry, not as pithy. That honey maybe is just responsible. You get a little bit of that. I mean, it's just kind of playing a role into that sweetness of the fruits. I don't know if it's more the fruits or is it just the sweeter honey malt bill. I don't really know. It's a good combination of flavors. Slightly chewy, floral, pine resin. Pretty smooth, man. I mean, this is a cold beer that's going down really nicely. I'm not upset by this by any means. I get a little touch of alcohol warming on the back end, but it's just faint. I feel like as this warms up, Obviously, you're going to get a little bit more of the alcohol hitting you. But the combination of hops and just the way this malty smoothness is playing together, it feels good. Like, this feels really proper. It feels still that old school recipe, and it's going down really well, and it's not too overly piney or bitter or floral, and it's not too ridiculously malty or sweet. I think there's fantastic balance here. Is this the better Hopslam that I've had in a while? It very well could be. This is very nice. I'm not really bickering too much about this Hopslam, guys. I feel like a few years back I didn't like it, and then there was a couple of years I did like it, and then I feel like I do really enjoy this one. Sweet mandarin oranges. There's just this beautiful dose of like orange touch of grapefruit. This Meyer lemon kind of pithy lemon skin, but again, it's still kind of sweeter ends of the fruits. I'm not just getting these little faint hints of the fruits. I'm getting the nice citrus that plays really nicely into that sweet honey malt. Floral kiss. Bitter, piney, but not too overwhelming and bitter and dry on the back end. Just really, really fantastic balance. Is this better than normal? I might say yes, guys. I don't know. The palate changes. I feel differently year to year. I understand that's all a factor, but this feels like a very good, authentic Hopslam. Chewy, gritty, but smooth. I like this beer. I think this is a really good Hopslam, guys. I think it'd be a fan favorite, and people should know about it. I think it's really good this year. I think it's good. Not as chewy and honey maybe as we once remembered, but it's in there, man. It is a nice dose of it. Solid beer, even in 2024 terms. I'm going 4.28 out of 5. I think this is like one of the higher rated ones I've had, and it just feels good this time around. It feels really well balanced, and it feels still fresh and delicious. So, yep, that's where I'm going, guys. 4.28 from Bell's Hopslam Ale 2024. Thank you so much for being here. If you're going to pour a beer, you know what it is. Pour Michigan beer.